Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to Sunday Drive, and of course my online speed record is level 36, which is actually pretty low if you think about it. But you can see I've beaten pretty much most of the game, spent a lot of time online, and I have all the most wanted cars. Don't have that many jackpots though, so we're going to be doing something a little bit different because I really can't concentrate enough to go online because they just opened the pool right out in front of our house, and I can't concentrate at all because they have these screaming kids. I know it's like Memorial Day and things like that. God bless our troops, all that. It's just the kids outside. I can't think. And I also would like to drive at night a little bit more because that's kind of more random online. I can't remember if I can change it or not. I just feel like driving at night, listening to some really cool music, and just hanging out and talking to you guys. If you're new to Sunday Drive, basically all Sunday Drive is I just tell you what's on my mind at the moment. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in the news that I'd like to address and things like that, especially with Xbox. And also I wanted to talk to you about video reviews and what makes me different than a lot of the other reviewers and things like that on the internet outside of YouTube as well. And what you saw in the Luigi's Mansion review, which a lot of people were actually kind of getting on my case about, which I found hilarious, is people were asking me, how can you die in those places? And they do have a point. I did do those on purpose as to highlight what happens with the Golden Bone. When you die in Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon, if you have the Golden Bone, what happens is your character will come back to life. And this was something that I really wanted to highlight that, but in order to use this item, I had to die. And I let my guard down a little bit on purpose when I was at that one area where there was all these different ghosts. Mainly the sisters was the easiest place to show it because there are going to be people that would die in that area. So that was a perfect opportunity for me to show that thing in the review. And I actually do this a lot because as a critic, it is my job to display as much as I can about the game so that you guys can make an educated decision whether or not you want to buy this game. Yes, I made the turn. And no other reviewer really does that because they're more worried about their gameplay, and they have to have this awesome gameplay to match their massive egos. And me, I'm not like that. I want to make sure that I did a really good job showcasing everything I can so that you guys can go out and buy the game or not. If I don't do that in my review, then basically I'm copping out. Okay, what I was going how fast and he didn't crash? Okay, I guess that was karma right there or something, I don't know. Oh, thanks for that, you jerk. So, it doesn't matter. I'm in a car that can go like 240 miles an hour. I'll catch up. I'm not worried about it. I'm more worried that I won't be able to hit these really tight turns in this car because this isn't the type of car that I normally drive. Yeah. I just unlocked this car a little while ago when I finally beat the last Need for Speed guy, most wanted driver. But what I really pride myself in my reviews is doing it that way because it's just more fun and no other critic really does that. So it's my job to pick up the slack, basically. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was really out in the open like that. No, he wasn't. Whatever. You know what? I don't care. I'll make up some time. Doesn't matter to me. Like I said, this car is wicked fast. And, I don't know. I completely forgot what I was talking about for a second. Oh, yeah, reviews. What you'll see in the Resident Evil review is I'm going to go out of my way to find crazy instances where people could die and show it off in my video. Now, does that mean I'm bad at the game? No. It means I'm highlighting something for you. When I play a walkthrough, then I am trying my best to not fail, but when I'm doing these live commentaries like Need for Speed, failure is imminent because I can't control the speed that I'm going. Yeah. I don't deserve to win this level. I really don't. My gameplay is shameful. Thankfully, though, I do have my reinflatable tires, so if I do hit a spike strip, I'll be fine. And even the cops will say, oh, his tire's reinflated, and they'll increase your rank. Yeah, I deserve that too. But when I'm doing a walkthrough, especially Batman, I do what's called training with the Arkham City thing. Like, I play through the game all the way first, like in a 24-hour period or less, and then I get like about a 5-6 hour nap, and then I start recording like the first 2 or 3 episodes that day, go back to sleep, and just really do my best to make sure the gameplay was awesome. Unfortunately, since I really didn't play Arkham Asylum that much before Arkham City came out, and just jumped into Arkham City, the first walkthrough of that game before we did like New Game Plus and some of the other features, it looked really bad. So I'm not going to make that same mistake with Arkham Origins and some of the other games that I wanted to look at. And the only reason I never got to Assassin's Creed 3 is originally I stated that I was going to do this massive Revolutionary War thing, because as a kid, growing up on the East Coast, I've gone to all the really important parts where the revolution happened. I've been to like Minuteman houses, I've been to museums, I've been to battlefields. I could have majored in the revolution. But my wife pointed out is what she wanted me to do when I do my walkthroughs is just do a walkthrough of the game and don't like really get too far into it, because you're going to psych yourself out. Now, what happened with Assassin's Creed 3 is while I was playing this and recording it in post or whatever, I had a lot of problems remembering basic facts because there was a lot of stuff going on the screen, and I couldn't concentrate enough to play the game, and I got to the point where I actually threw the U gamepad down because I was getting so angry because I couldn't concentrate, and that's why that kind of ended. Also, Amber wasn't doing it with me because she didn't have time. We were still unpacking and all this other stuff. And a lot of you know that we moved to our condo in February. It was like the first week of February, and there was also a big snowstorm and all that other stuff. So there was a lot of stuff and factors that kind of canceled Assassin's Creed 3 for now. So it's likely that we'll do something with it in the summer. I mean, it already is pretty much summer now. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm actually going to do some jump cuts because you don't need to see the loading screens. You really don't. Jump cuts are so fun, aren't they? So, yeah, I love that stuff. But getting back to Assassin's Creed 3, I actually played through the game. I enjoyed it a lot. I wanted to do a massive review on it. But there's a lot of things that are changing for video reviews that I'm going to have to abide by. So, yeah, I've just... One of the things that I really hated on old YouTube is the fact that it limited my creativity with time limits. I hated having restrictions put on me. And with YouTube kind of going back that way for partners now, especially if you're doing this for a job, it really messes with me as an artist. So doing these really short reviews is a challenge. Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon took me about 3 weeks to review because I had to scrap my 14-minute review because Nintendo would have claimed it. Even though I followed all the rules beforehand, since they went back to the 10-minute limit, it kind of screwed the pooch with me doing certain things. And I do hate them for that because I feel like I didn't really get to do a lot with the game that I wanted to. And of course I can't do the walkthrough because I won't get paid for it either. And a lot of you are probably like, you know, wah, but it's actually nearly impossible to get Nintendo to approve anything as a journalist. I can tell you this point blank. Nintendo will not approve any relationship with a company other than IGN or even GameStop. And even that, it all depends on the people who are working for Nintendo or with Nintendo, like Richard George or my hero, Craig Harris, I believe was his name. I can't remember his name anymore. The guy who's at Sega. They had to follow like really strict guidelines and things like that too. And Matt Kasamis was also another really big hero of mine in the journalist world, who he had a great relationship with Nintendo, so he had a lot of leeway. The other publications, since they were kind of biased towards Nintendo or whatever, they didn't have a very good relationship with Nintendo, so they weren't free to do a lot of stuff. Same thing in my case. I have a great relationship with Nintendo. I know some of the people at corporate. I know the PR people. I've met them at events. I still will never be able to get permission to do walkthroughs of their games or whatever, or even reviews, because they do not have time, nor does their PR department, to work with you like that. Now, there are chances like you can get in touch with some of their marketing people, and work out some kind of agreement for a certain game. But as far as all their content, no, it'll never happen. And part of the reason is because Nintendo's very old school. So with doing a lot of reviews and walkthroughs on first-party games, it's going to be a massive challenge and something that I'm not looking forward to doing. So that's why you're going to see limited Nintendo-based reviews for 3DS first-party and Wii U first-party games, because my hands are kind of tied and it's kind of messing with my head a little bit too much. And you can see it even just talking about this is a huge distraction for me. But getting back to Assassin's Creed 3, since my company that I freelance for, Got Game, has such a great relationship with Ubisoft, I have permission to do a lot of things. And as soon as I shake off the cobwebs of my fear of doing a live or recorded Assassin's Creed thing, I will get to Assassin's Creed 3 this summer, probably by like July or August. That's the plan, because that's a game that I really do enjoy because of its rich history. I don't know what I'm going to do with Black Flag, if I'm even going to do that or not, but I'm probably not going to look at it on the Wii U, even though I have talked to a lot of third-party companies for the Wii U, and they've given me permission to do this. We're going to be doing stuff with Activision for Skylander Swap Force on the Wii U, and that's all being done like right now. We're like making sure that this is going to be something that we can definitely do, because it's the Let's Play channel is definitely a business. And there are some games we do for fun, not expecting to make anything off of, like Scooby-Doo, for instance. We don't care if we made money on it, so we're totally relaxed. We're just being completely crazed nutballs, pretty much. I didn't mean to do that. And we're just having so much fun playing that game. It's a blind playthrough. We've never played it before. Not paying attention to any of the directions. We're just sitting there on the couch, eating chips, drinking some soda, and having a blast. And that's what a lot of the games we do on the Let's Play channel are. But what happens sometimes when a company says, hey, can you do this for us? You want to try to be as professional as possible and not lose it too much. But then again, Lego Batman 2 that we're re-looking at, Warner Brothers Games sent us the game, and since Amber and I are so excited to play this game and actually work with Warner Brothers again, we're going a little bit crazy. Like, I mean, it's just, we're having so much fun with it. We feel that we've already done a professional guide and showed a lot of this stuff, so we can kind of cut loose and do whatever we want with this game now. So we're not expecting to have the same type of exposure or, you know, blow up the way that the Lego Batman 2 series did. We don't really care. We just want to play it, have fun, spend some time together, and if it becomes successful, awesome. If it doesn't, it's not really going to hurt us, because we've already gone and done the whole professional walkthrough thing, so it's not that big deal. So you'll see a lot of crazy titles and crazy Facebook and Twitter announcements for the episodes. It's going to be very lax, very laid back, so you don't need to worry about that. So yeah, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now in the game, which I just realized I kind of was talking and totally missed what I did. I switched cars, and I'm just driving around in a Porsche. And I'm just driving past the Porsche now. Take that sign. Ow. Going to the Porsche and when racing against the police, it's a lot easier on the turn, so I can feel like I'm performing a sharp bat turn. And I can also hug the curves and do a lot of, not grinding. I can't think right now. It's not grinding. Drifting. I can do a lot of drifting and things like that. But I don't know if I necessarily want to stay as this car. I'm actually going to go to the one car that I use a lot on these mountain passes, which is Chevrolet. At least I think that's what it's called, Chevrolet or Chevette. I probably had it. I know how to say Corvette, so we're going to go with the ZR1 Corvette. That's my favorite car before I got a lot of my most wanted cars. I love this car. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about this car. To me, it is a car I would love to be able to drive in real life. It just is. I don't know. It looks pretty cool, except it's, you know, its trunk is going up and down, and there's glass missing and things like that. But there, I fixed it. See, haha. I'm using my U-pad. Some people like to play using the U Pro controller or whatever, but I prefer the U-pad because I'm so used to using it for this game, and also the extra weight kind of feels like a steering wheel a little bit. Plus, I can change the time of day. I can switch my cars on the fly, disrupt the police if I want to, although I really don't want to right now. I want them to follow me. Come on, guys. Tag, you're it. So, yeah, I really, in this game, I want to highlight today just how fun it is to run from the police in this game. And I am not going to try my best to drive awesomely or whatever. I don't really care. I just want to have fun and, you know, drive against the popos. Oh-ho! And crash a lot. Oh, wait. Gotta get away. Okay, we're good. We're good. It's always fun to listen to the police, isn't it, while you're driving? They say some really interesting things. Oh, no, I'm not gonna squeeze by. Yes, well, I kinda did. Out of my way, dude! I just waxed my car, come on! But I just want to address something to you guys, too. We will be covering a lot of third-party 3DS and Wii U games. I'm not sure what's happening with Arkham Origins yet. I almost said Arkham City. We already did Arkham City. I'm not sure what's happening with Arkham Origins in terms of content. It all depends on what game Warner Brothers is most comfortable with us doing, like how Arkham Origins is going to go. And also Young Justice has been moved up, and we're really, really excited about that game, but I'm thinking that Wally West is going to be the character that died. Wait, how did I... That doesn't even make sense. I wasn't even going that fast to crash there. Whatever. In the trailer that they just released, everybody thought the game was going to come out in the fall, but it's looking like it's going to be a summer game, which I'm all for because I really want a new Batman game to play. I'm tired of playing Injustice. I'm tired of playing Arkham City, and I just want to be able to play as Nightwing and Robin, like really, really bad. And most likely, Amber and I are going to play as like Nightwing, Robin, and Batgirl, and she'll probably play as Megan from Young Justice because she really liked her character, at least in the first season. You know, hello, Megan. It was a great series. So that got moved up to the summer sometime, and I have to see what system Warner Brothers is going to send. Whatever copy they send early, that's the one that I'm going to look at. I might look at the Wii U version later if it has like different features, like we're doing with Lego Batman 2, because Lego Batman 2, one person can play on the gamepad and the other person can play on the TV. And this is a completely different playthrough because I don't have to babysit Amber. I can actually do all the important stuff on the screen, and Amber can go and have a blast and do whatever she wants. And she's not like, having this two-screen thing doesn't screw up the frames of the game. There's no lag. It's just, it's so awesome. And it's a feature that we both really wanted to see. I thought that was a chair. It's a feature we both wanted to see in Lego City, and Lego City really, really would have benefited from what Lego Batman 2 for Wii U did, but they didn't, and it was just like a whole single-player experience. A lot of you are probably wondering why we haven't taken down like a lot of our Nintendo content. Even if Nintendo like claims it, we're gonna keep it up anyway, because it was good content. We just won't be doing a lot of their stuff in the future. But enough about Nintendo. I know all of you want to know how I feel about Xbox One. And I don't know what to tell you. I was shocked. I really was. I thought Microsoft was going to come out guns a-blazing and not shoot themselves in the foot. But they didn't just shoot themselves in the foot. They've blown their foot clear off. And I'm still completely speechless as to how they could have done that. I was watching the event, and you know, because it's my job as a journalist to stay up to date with all this stuff, right? And I really couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like, especially after what PS4 announced, and how they aren't blocking used games, and Microsoft is going to block used games. They're going to charge a fee for, you know, giving your friend a game to play on the weekend. I mean, one of the things I loved as a gamer, especially as a kid, was letting my friends borrow my massive collection and giving them a variety to play on the weekend, and I'd also get to play one of their games from one of their systems, like the NES or the Super Nintendo, because back then the economy wasn't great to begin with. It's actually a lot worse now, but tough things were hard back then. So borrowing your friends' games and renting games and things like that, that was the norm. But now Microsoft has gone and made their console a frickin' PC. And PC games for like the last 15 years have used codes and register stuff, and that way you can't really share the games. And sharing games is a very important part of what we do as gamers. And now, if you buy Xbox One, which should have been Xbox 3 or Nextbox or whatever, you can't do that anymore. And not only that, if you do that, you're going to have to pay a fee. And we still don't know if this is a one-time fee or if there's going to be a fee every time you try to use one of your friends' games. That just shows how out of touch Microsoft has become. And that is insane. I mean, out of all the business moves you can do, especially after all the announcements that PS4 did, and they had a pretty lame show, like a really, really lame show. But they're still coming out looking a lot better than Microsoft is at this point. So, you know, I don't really see how I'm going to do an Xbox One, especially that they wanted to do what PS4 did, and they're not backwards compatible with their 360 games, just like PS4 is not backwards compatible with PSN or the PS3 games. So, I mean, that alone was a reason for us to say we're not going to buy a PS4 because we have all these PS3 games, and if we have the PS3 in the bedroom or whatever, and I want to use the really big TV to play PS3 games on my PS4, no, you can't do that. So that is a decision whether or not we're going to buy the game. That's a very important decision, and it's not looking good for Sony right now with that. Based on that alone, we got a Wii U because if something happens to our Wiis, we can still play our 200 Wii games if we want to on the Wii U. And also you have the backwards compatibility of the Virtual Console. We were able to put our all our VC games from one Wii onto a Wii U. And that was a really cool thing, but with Sony and Microsoft's new systems, you won't be able to do that. And that just seems like a very, very bad thing, especially if you're a gamer. Now, it doesn't look like they're trying to even appeal to gamers like with Microsoft or Sony, because Sony's trying to do this thing with their 4K TVs, which, of course, they're Sony. They're always going to try to do strange things like that. But Microsoft now is a TV, and my remote control can do the same things that I want to say Nextbox, that Xbox One can do, or the One can do. It's the same exact thing, and gamers don't really watch television. I mean, I hardly watch any TV, and the only TV I watch is my streaming stuff on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime. That's it. I hardly watch any TV at all. In fact, we have cable and all that other stuff, and there's nothing ever on. Last night, Amber and I just sat and watched Undercover Boss for like 4 hours before going to bed, and that was the most cable we've watched. The only reason we got cable to begin with is so we could have really fast internet. I wish there was a way just to have the internet by itself, but in the United States, they don't have services like that anymore. They used to, but they don't have that. So we had to get cable, and we don't even use it. So yeah, the fact that Microsoft wants to be a television company now, and have the option of changing the TV by using your voice and using Kinect and having Kinect back, I don't know, that just really made me laugh. And the thing is bigger than before. And have you guys seen the size of Xbox One? The thing looks like a VCR. At least their last system was smaller than the Xbox. Like the original, the 360 was smaller than the Xbox. And the Xbox was huge. So now Xbox One is like this huge VCR. And it's like, what are you thinking, Microsoft? Like, for reals? Like, what? How is this a good idea? How is this a good idea? And nobody's really seen what the PS4 looks like. How do we know it's not like twice the size of the Xbox One? At least the Wii U is a small system that fits in my entertainment thing. And, you know, aside from me being a little angry at Nintendo about the whole content claiming thing, I still really like playing their games. They're a lot of fun to play. I've been having a lot of fun playing Donkey Kong. I'm working on that review and things like that. But in terms of what we're going to do, I guess if we want to expand our audience, we have to go with a PS4 this time around. But I'm really hesitant to do that because I don't like that I'm not going to be able to play my PS3 games, and I don't know what else Sony's going to do. I don't know if they're going to start charging their online service like Xbox is doing. I don't really follow Sony a lot, so I don't really know. They made a poor decision with the PS3, and let me just address this. Every company that has had a third system made has always struggled to have that console relate to the second one. The sequel tends to do pretty good. In some cases, the PlayStation sequel did the best out of any system until the Nintendo DS. It sold like hotcakes. It was a great system. So when it came to their third system, Sony like bit their own foot off and did the exact opposite. It was wicked expensive. It killed the backwards compatibility. You know, everything that the PS2 did that was good, PS3 did the opposite. And every console that's released a third system from the Saturn to the N64 has struggled leading into their fourth system. In Nintendo's part, not only did they stick to cartridges for the N64, but then when they brought out their GameCube to compete with the PS2, and the GameCube was more powerful than the PS2, tremendously more powerful. But Nintendo shot themselves in the foot by making small discs and making the system difficult for third parties to work with. And Nintendo's always done that. So having these small discs made it impossible for developers to put a lot of their third-party releases. And you know I'm right, because there were hardly any third-party games on the GameCube. It was a great first-party and second-party system, and there were some really cool games that came out for it. Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil 4, I can only remember Capcom at the moment. Eternal Darkness, and of course Metroid Prime and things like that, but that wasn't really second. Well, yeah, it was kind of second party, but it was within Nintendo's walls. Tales of Symphonia was a great exclusive. Okay, now I'm starting to remember some things. But they still really, really struggled with their fourth system, and then with their fifth system, they completely changed their marketing strategy. And it became a success. It became a huge success for them, but then they lost touch when they released their sixth console, the Wii U. And that's going to be an uphill battle for Nintendo, it really is. Oh wow, I've gotten over 50,000 points. This is awesome. I've already gone past my record. Now I just have to outrun the police, and I am going to be, like, have this huge, huge level. But getting back to the whole, like, third console thing, when Sega released their Saturn, they really struggled to get a foothold in the industry, and it was a great system. Shining Force 3 was a great game, and there were really some cool games for the Saturn. But then when the Dreamcast came out, they were spending so much money and doing this and that, and their fourth system failed. And Sony, whether people want to admit it or not, is in the same boat as Sega was when they released their Dreamcast. So in order to be the console king again, they're going to have to do some drastic things, and they're going to have to eat the costs on some things to really take advantage of Microsoft's mistake. But anyway, now I want to hear from all of you guys. Everything that I've talked about or whatever you want to discuss, feel free to do so in the comments section below. This has been another Sunday Drive. I had a lot of fun just chatting and hanging out with you guys. And yeah, expect this series to be on Sundays. Like I said today, it was kind of difficult to do that because of the people outside my window and things like that. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed Sunday Drive. I'm going to go eat dinner. It's going on 8 o'clock now, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I have a podcast that's coming out very soon, and we will be addressing a lot of stuff that happened with Xbox and where we feel the next generation is heading. Until then, gamers, God bless and happy gaming. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun with you guys. Take care.